Good morning and welcome back to the Home Renovation Experts. Steve here on his, again, glorious morning. So, if you've got a part one of this particular part of the decking, then you'll know that I kind of got my support in most of the way. I've literally just finished, because if you want to see how to do this, then just watch yesterday's video because I showed you all there. But you can now see I've now finished this support across here. Excuse the sniffing, hay fever season is a bugger. But what I'm doing now is, again, based on yesterday's video, you'll know that in order, this building basically goes in that direction and it also then goes in that direction. So to keep my board, I've had to do a cutout to go through into here. So you can see it now disappears very nicely. There's a little gap as well, so any water can just disappear, hit the slabs, it won't impact the building. Adjusted for all that. Again, it's in yesterday's video, so the angle of the cut on there is perfect. And you can see here, the angle going this direction is nice as well. Now, I've put this next board on across this section because that's going to set my tone. It's going to give me my 5mm gap between there and there. And this is basically going to be as straight as I can get it based on the fact of the board being straight. I've measured for the end of this board, 2 down there. Got my cut, so I cut the length. And now you can see, obviously, this one is shorter because it's had that little bit chopped off there to allow for this weird angle. So what I've done is put it up tight, measured the distance in there, transferred that to that end, so I know that's the width I need to take off. I then taken that measurement there, which is 10mm, come across here till I find where it starts to become 10mm wide, put a mark across there. So what I'll essentially do now is put a flat edge on my fess tool, basically kind of going like that. Do you see what I mean? So I'm coming off of where that mark was and then eventually peak out to 10mm, chop that bit off, and then that board will then just slide, boom, that way, following the angle of the building. Now, it's going to run out, as you can see, but there's only so much I can do. So that's just going to be the way it is. I might just chuck a tiny bit of pea shingle down there. I've got a bag of it on the van anyway. So that just kind of makes it look a bit neater. But like I say, this bit's for holding plant pots and stuff, so it's not the end of the world. What I've also done is I've chopped a bit of end cap here, so that's ready to just go in as well, just to finish off these edges. Again, it's just for like the flowers and stuff, but I've got the edge trim, so I'm able to use it and just sort of make it look neat. That way it completely mirrors the big deck down there. Again, if you want to see how that was built, go back 2 days and I'll actually show you that from being removed from the old decking to putting a sub base in, to leveling it all off, thumping it all down and building that. It's a good video, I'd highly recommend it. So now you can see that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to chop that angle for that one now. And literally the way I'm going to do it is just going to put a rail on it and saw across, job done. I'll use my fess tool, TS55, good tool. Then I better get that one in. I better fix these 2 boards completely then. And then I will show you putting the trim on and then finishing off down that end as well. I'll be back in a second. So there you go. I'll just pull the board this way. I've got this end marked at a 10mm end, tapering off to nothing, where I've put that mark across that direction. And all I literally do is get this and then simply slice through it. Don't forget your safety stuff, goggles, headphones. Actually, these are noise cancelling, so I can't hear a thing a second, which is great. That's all right, because you're not really talking back, so I don't need to hear you. So now, that should theoretically put in there like so. It's always dangerous doing this stuff live, because if I've cocked it up, then you'll notice it, but not like I ever would, obviously. Get this lined up. Get the spacer in. Does it need the spacer just to make sure that it's being pinned in the right place? Well, that is not too shabby. Get your 5mm gap there. I'll bring you over, don't worry. I will prove to you it's absolutely fine. Ready? There you go. So by the time I get my spacers in there, holding it in the right place, that is now nice. You can see it tapers off beautifully with it. And that is how you do the transfer. It's like trying to offset and do your bits and pieces, get the angles right. Look at that. Makes me happy. Makes me very happy. So like I say, I should now get this one cut for the side, obviously just measure between that one and that one, and then get lovely spaces that come with it for fixing it in place, and get these two fitted. I can't remember what I got to in the last video, but anyway, I got these four boards in now, so looking good. So I've just started work on the angle trim, so you can see that one is now in. Now, working out these angles can sometimes be a bit of a pain, even for me trying to get my head around it and kind of figure out what's what and who's going where. So my advice always is overcut, okay? Can't emphasize that enough. Because if you're doing this as DIY, it's all right, I'll get my head around it and I remember I'll work it all out and stuff. But if you're not sure, then remember, you can always take off materials, you can't add back onto it, okay? So when you come to doing these ones, overshoot it for the size and it doesn't matter. So obviously you've got that's nice there. I haven't fixed that one yet. One quick side note, check how pissed this stuff is. Like, look, can you see that? So it's tight up against it. I've got fixing in this end. And look at that bow. Look how much I've got to try and twist that to force it to go back into that space. Even at the end bit, it's still fighting. It's incredible. Oh, that end bit used a bit of a tight screw, but you get the idea. So what I'm going to do now is put that one back on, put a few more fixings in it to keep it pinned so it's actually at the 5mm level, and then I'll do a measurement from there to there, and I'll show you me doing a cut, and then how I'll work it out if I was in your position. Back in a second. So what you can see is here, I've done a measurement from the end to overshoot, as you can see, by a little bit. So I've put the right angle on here, boom, so that one's done. What I've then done is cut myself a little template, which basically does like both angles, depending. So I can then put that in there, slide it up, and then once I push that in tight, I now know that's because I want a slight gap in it. I now know that that is a perfect position, right? So I can see that, I know there's no problems, no issues. Now all I need to do is come across this end and mark at the joint and then do that cut across there. And I know that's going to go in beautifully. You're not sort of guessing it, fitting it and going, oh, bloody hell, it doesn't work. Doing it live, lets you see it, lets you get feelers on it. And like I say, I can always take stuff off, I can always chop at the end. And that makes no difference. If that's an angle cut going into an angle cut, so if it's like that corner and another return here, I'd still overshoot it if I wanted to. And then just try it, oh, don't fit, go back, take 5mm off, whatever you need to, and keep worming your way down it. Because this stuff is expensive, you don't want to keep cocking it up. So that's a good way of doing it. It works. Right, so like I said before, all the trims are now done and looking lovely jubbly. Now it's just finishing the front. Now, it doesn't matter if you're doing a long piece, a little piece, whatever. I'm going to show you a little piece though, because, you know, it's a bit easy for me to do that and film and kind of like get close up and stuff as opposed to having it on a tripod. Here we have a piece of composite, okay? You can see, if I take this box out of the way, very nice. Nicely spaced out there, spaces are in there, jobs are good. So this bit is already pre-cut to go in there. Obviously it's going to be sort of up at that level. Obviously you want to drop it down. So all you need to do is basically grab your box of bits. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but chuck all your bits for the fixings inside a big box. Makes it a lot easier to get hold of and stuff like that. And we like that. In this case, I need two. So let's whip those bad boys on. And essentially push it up into the gap at the top. You'll know when it kind of homes. In fact, I'm going to lean you there so you can see, and I can use two hands. See what I mean? Also, a little bradawl comes in very handy for like manoeuvring these bad boys. See that? Click, click, click. But now you can also use the bradawl to like slide it down to the fixing points wherever you may need them to be, which is nice. So then obviously just keep it in place. If this was a longer length, then just chock out with something, either an old chisel at one end, or if there's a bigger gap, find something that's going to like just hold it up for you. Like even at some points, like an old piece of composite I've slid underneath just to kind of keep it jacked up. Like I say, that's now in and ready to go. Grab myself two screws, which I should have done before starting the video. That one's up there nice and tight. Now for these ones, because they're kind of going in vertical, I can just simply put it in the hole like this. Normally I pile it, but don't need to with these ones. One. Two. Now, you could argue and say, oh, well, that's it, it's done, isn't it? Well, I don't like that argument. So what I do as well is, the top of each one, right near the top, because I know there's a little bit of fixing there, pilot hole, both sides. And then what I'll do is just stick those into both sides. So if this was a longer length, I would do it in, what's the word? I'd do it in sort of 3. I'd put 3 in it because it's only little 2. And if, you know, with people walking on it, bouncing and stuff, those ever decide to kind of drop a bit, it can't plop out now because you've got screws actually retaining it. Again, over-engineered, done and dusted, but look how nice it all looks, doesn't it? It's all these little bits and pieces, finishes it off nicely. I'm very happy. So that is basically how you do those finishing bits on the front. I also took the liberty of putting on a piece of the corner trim just there. Again, because otherwise you've got a bare edge of a board. Me, the bare edge of a board just looks a bit naff. So you go like this. So I just chucked a bit on there. That's it done. I've left it a bit loose at the second, just while I kind of get my levels of everything else, and then I'll finalise and pin those in. But basically, yeah, one more cut. One more. And that is all the composite bits cut. Very happy. So I'm going to do that now. I'll get them on fit exactly how I've just done this one. And then, like I say, it's going to be going around. I've got a bit to fix down that end. So basically the equivalent of this bit here, I haven't fitted over there. Double check all these bits, make sure they're all done. Put all my retainers in for all the other long lengths. And yeah, proper happy. So yeah, I'm going to carry on, get that done, and that'll be this bit finished. Well, there you go, literally. So I've now finished all the bits and pieces, the trims on the face of it, and now we are done. Absolutely gorgeous. Little bit of decking that, perfectly lined up. The doors open perfectly, it didn't even need to be adjusted, which is like top marks. And that is finished spot on. Very, very, very happy with that. And in fact, that is it for this job. I'm officially done. So I hope you enjoyed this series on how to fit your composite decking, you know, how to sort of level it all, how to compact the soil, put your MOT down, your gravel, if that's what you're going to use for your base, to actually fit the joists, to level them, to fix the actual the decking across the top. I hope you find it fantastic. Any questions, ping them over. I know I'm not very good at getting back to people in a minute, but I will, I promise. But I mean, it just is now, isn't it? Fantastic. I know I keep saying it, but I'm quite hot now. I've just done like 1.5 litres of water because I'm just desperate for a drink and getting into shape. So that is it. So on to another job on Monday, no, Tuesday, tell a lie. So I'll see you then. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, give it a like and all that sort of jazz. And yeah, I'll see you on Tuesday. See you later, guys and gals.